This is going to be a terrific game. Oh, nice shots.
Goal there. That does the job.
It's a beautiful shot.
That's hit beautifully.
The atmosphere here is electric. That'll certainly get him going.
Another glorious day, very hot forecast, lovely skies, cricket lovers settling into their seats. This is a Boxing Day test match, perfectly set up. A reminder of where we are. There's an advantage of 54 for the Pakistan side.
Shot. A great start then for Temba Bavuma. 4 runs. Looks so good driving, Temba Bavuma. There's another one out of the cupboard.
Sliced away, back with a square on the offside. That's gone for 4. Good start from Bavuma. There's a neck and there's a wicket. So that's the end of Temba Bavuma. He's played so well. Afridi has done a really good job.
This game is tantalizingly poised, beautifully poised. Both teams can't blink. Pakistan cannot afford tail to just carry on batting.
No problem with a full toss. Test match level.
Out. Another of those slow balls, nothing on it in terms of pace, and it deceives Quinton de Kock. South Africa all out for 223. I guess 42 a hit. It is advantage South Africa, but it's not a big advantage.
There's a neck, and it's down. Amla, first slip. Lovely shot. And that is a beautiful cover drive. That is superbly played. That is a top shot. Bowled him, got him, Rabada. He's one of those guys that he can make an important breakthrough, and he's done it again.
That's a magnificent stroke, set up for the short ball.
What a catch. That is excellent at short leg. Aiden Markram juggled it a few times, but in the end, held on for Dwan Olivier's 5th.
Just 149 to win the game. It's barely believable because the Pakistan has been bowled out for 190. At one stage, 101 for 1. 15 has been the magic number over the first 2 days. 15 wickets on day 1, 15 wickets on day 2. Welcome everybody to the 3rd day's play of the first Castle Lager test match here at SuperSport Park between South Africa and Pakistan. The 2 magic numbers today, 149, that's the runs needed by the South Africans, 10. That's the amount of wickets needed for the Pakistanis. Otis Gibson and his players arrive at the ground this morning. Dean Elgar, of course, a key figure at the top of the order to hold things together. Dwayne Olivier, who's had such a fantastic match. The Pakistan team, so much to think about. Iman played very well yesterday. Safraz is under pressure for his place as captain. Yes, there's an awful lot that can happen here that can change things for their sides as these 2 teams go head-to-head in what has so far been a brilliant clash. Let's have a look at where we stand overnight. A little reminder of the facts and the stats of the match. 181 for Pakistan, having chosen to bat first, and then 190 in their second innings. Bowled out yesterday, having once been 101 for 1. Can you believe that, losing those 9 wickets for 89 runs? The South Africans made 223 in their first innings and need 149 to win the match and go 1 up in the series today. Makai Ansini and Graham Smith are alongside me. Morning, boys.
Morning, Mike. How you doing?
Very good. You look fresh.
Forever fresh. What do you say?
Put $1 million there.
Inshallah.
Please don't give him too many compliments. Morning, guys. Morning, Mackie.
Actually, another exciting day's cricket and the Seamers to the fore.
Man, it's a 3rd day. 3rd day, and South Africa now only have 3 days to chase 140 people. What do you say?
Well, hopefully it doesn't take 3 days, Mackie. Hopefully they get it done today.
Dwayne Olivier again, 11 wickets in the match. You must be so proud of him, Makai.
Oh, yes, indeed. He has done wonderful. He has shown that he's a type of a guy that is needed in a team. You need a character. You need someone who can rise up when the occasion has been given to him. You know, he showed that he can do it. So no matter what happened after this game, but he's a hero.
A reminder that strength in depth, Graham, for any side is important, isn't it? Filling the gaps, Philander not playing and Dwayne doing so well.
Well, it's interesting because our domestic format we're waiting for, there's a lot of talent, but there's a bit of a gap between the international side and our domestic format. The talent needs to grow and develop and get there. But to have guys like Olafia on the fringe, Philander falling out, he's been there for a period of time. To see him bowl like he did yesterday, he adapted so well to the service. Big pressure situation after lunch yesterday, and he stepped up for his captain.
Okay, let's have a look at the wickets yesterday. Remember, 136 for 5, the South Africans, when they began yesterday morning. They'd have been hoping for more of a lead. That was the first to go, Dale Steyn.
First to go, Dale Steyn trying to let go of that. We know that when the bowler is batting, you know, he doesn't have to have that much to stick around. When he sees it, he goes, Bavuma, he got a good ball. Look at that celebration. That tells you that he's enjoying himself. He's having a fun day, Afridi, right there on the money.
And this one, good LBW against Kagiso.
Yes, there's nothing you can do more than that. Even though he was given not out, they went straight to the upstairs, and then he was hitting. You have to go.
Yeah, review goes against Kagiso Maharaj on that occasion. Lovely innings briefly from Kagiso Rabada. Played some nice strokes, but still a bit of movement out there for the seamers.
He showed the talent that he can bat as well. You know, that one, it was there to be hit, but just a little bit away from his body, and then he threw the bat into it straight to the slip.
And then finally, Quentin de Kock, who was just looking to work a single to try to steal the strike, undone for 45. I thought he played very responsibly, Micaiah.
Yes, as a senior player as well. You know, he showed that as well. I think Quentin, one thing that he made a mistake of it because he didn't trust the batter on the other end. If the ball was not there to be hit, he should have defended and tried to get one to the other end to the batsman as well. So one of those things that I think from now on he needs to make sure that he communicate with the fellow colleague on the other side, so he can be able, if there's no need of running, he can play, you know, the defensive shot. It's
a difficult one, that, isn't it? Working with the tail when you're a top-class player like he is, but an impressive performance, I thought, all round, because he played within himself, didn't he, 100%.
Quentin? I mean, he still struck, I think, at 90% or something like that, and he played beautifully. I think he looked a lot more in control of his defensive play yesterday, which allowed him, you know, to play beautifully when he got the opportunity to score, and there were a lot of those opportunities. I thought, you know, he was on course for a Test 100 there. The way that he looked in the middle, just ran out of partners. It's always a difficult situation as the end batter about how to play it. Do you take it on? Do you try and get another 20, 30 runs? Do you try and hog the strike? Shan Masood found himself in the same position yesterday with Pakistan, and you know, they'll learn from that situation and maybe just do something differently next time.
Okay, so a lead of 42 for the South Africans. That might have been more, but well done, Pakistan, for sticking at it. Now, Pakistan started so well, didn't they? And then Fakar picks out one man out on the leg side.
Yeah, 42 behind the game, and they got off to the start that they wanted. They're almost their best opening. I think only the second 50 opening partnership of the year, and they got close, and very much a 20-20 shot from Fakhar Zaman. Imam Al-Haq was, you know, dropped early on yesterday, looked brilliant. They had an opportunity here, Pakistan, 101 for 1. This was post-lunch. South Africa were on the ropes, and Dwayne Olafia stepped up, and he got these 2 quick wickets. First Imam Al-Haq, and then Azhar Ali, just getting caught with a short ball in no man's land. Last-minute decision to pull and plonked it, and in the end, a wonderful catch from Kagiso Rabada.
We were all wondering what they'd put in their tea, hadn't we, at that stage, because suddenly it looked a different game. South Africa had been against the game and was suddenly all over the Pakistanis, and things starting to go their way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a loss of concentration from Asad Shafiq. He was out LBW, overturned on DRS, and that was the very next ball, flashing at a wide one, and that was a big wicket again for South Africa, and that was a cracking delivery to get rid of Baba Azam, who played so beautifully in the first innings. Just a gem from Rabada, angled in, nips away, top of off stump, a bowler's dream.
Lovely stuff from Rabada now, who was in a nice rhythm from the pavilion end of the ground. Safraz looks out of touch, doesn't he?
He looks a man under pressure. Scrambled brain. I think he's got to go away and think about that technique again, that real crouch position. He doesn't know where his off stump is. playing in South Africa, square of the wicket, you're going to bring that slip cordon into play all day, and that's something he's going to have to assess going forward. This was a nice little period. It was a bit of a counter-attack from Amir, but Rabada just really holding his mind. Last ball of the over, instead of going short, went good length again and caught Amir on the crease. Outthought him and outskilled him there. This was Olafia again at his best, just using that back of a length pace bounce. 10 wickets in the game. What an incredible performance from him. Came in through injury, and who could have expected him to step up like he has? And Shan Masood played beautifully yesterday, looked in control of his game. Just again, man who ran out of partners. I think that was a real strength of his yesterday, the way he played the pull shot. He rolled the wrist beautifully. That was the first time that he tried to go up and over for 6 with the tail. And then wonderful catch from Markram to end the day. Quality short leg catch, and another, 11 wickets for Duan Olafia.
I know, it's a heck of a haul, isn't it? Puts him right at the top of the list, top 3 now of South Africans here in South Africa. An excellent performance from him, and a fascinating day all round. The tendency is to think South Africa might have done enough, but let's find out what the Pakistan camp make of things. Shan Masood played so well yesterday. He was with Mike Hazeman just a while ago.
Shan, thanks for your time. 65 tough runs. Why do you play the short ball so well?
I think you need, when you're coming to a place like South Africa, you know, with bowlers that bowl more than 140 kilometers per hour, you know you're going to get the short one. So it's all about scoring off that short ball, because there's going to be a huge percentage of balls that are going to be bowled short. So I think as a unit we've prepared for the short ball, and if you look at the whole team, I think we've attacked off the short ball as well, and left it when the ball has to be left as well. So it's all about assessing the ball and then playing it when it's on offer and scoring your runs off the short ball.
Now, you guys were sitting pretty yesterday at 100 for 1, and it suddenly went south.
Number one, we knew we were facing a very relentless bowling attack. 3 very good fast bowlers, and then secondly, this is the type of the pitch where you're never in, and when you're coming there as a new batsman, the first 6 to 12 balls are always hard to face. And I think if you look at numbers 4, 5, and 6, I think the South Africans got them out pretty early. So it's all about getting set, but even when you're set, you have to look for runs, because there's always a ball that has your name on it.
And why is that? Why is this track in particular so tough? I mean, it's reasonably pacey, I guess, but there's another reason, right?
I think the cracks, and to negotiate with the cracks, I think the groundsman put some grass on the cracks as well. So now the cracks are starting to open up, and with some grass on the track, I think there's a lot of variability. As you saw on day 1, there were a few that kept low as well. So as a batsman, you can't predict which way the ball's going to bounce, and then it's doing something off the seam as well. I don't think there's much swing in the track, but it's harder to negotiate the ball that moves off the deck, and that's why you're never in, and there's one ball that always has your name with it. I think we saw that with Bavuma yesterday as well. I think he looked the best out of the South African batsmen, but there's a ball that got him out, and a pretty decent ball that got him out when he was set on 50.
And finally, how difficult do you think 200 would have been to chase?
That was always on our minds. As a batting unit, we thought about scoring 250 runs, as South Africa had about a lead of 42 runs. 200 would have been, it would have put us in the driver's seat. But again, 150 is not bad. Ideally, 180 to 200 would have been really good. But again, we've got 150 runs to play with. It's the 4th innings, and I think we've got a formidable bowling attack to get 10 wickets here again.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, short thoughts there from Shan Masood, who would have liked a few more runs. Who wouldn't? As it is, it's 149 for South Africa to win this test match. When we come back after the break, Shaun Pollock and Ramiz Raja will be with me on the pitch and look at both the bowling and the batting way to pull off a victory.
You make me feel so alive. You make me feel so alive.
Welcome back to SuperSport Park. A very understated feel to the morning's preparation. The South Africans were very relaxed. They played a long game of football. They've had a bit of fielding. 1 or 2 key batsmen may well have been in the nets, but out here, even the Pakistan side seemed to be playing everything down. The bowlers didn't have an especially long workout. It seems to be the modern way. More of the coaches insist on players relaxing and getting ready for play without taking too much out of themselves in the warm-up. I've got Ramiz Raja and Shaun Pollock alongside me. Morning, boys.
Morning.
Start with you, Shaun. If you're a bowling team, how do you win the game?
Well, I think you've got different attributes you have to use in your favour. Firstly, 149 on the board, so scoreboard pressure, you've got to say we've got enough, and you've got to back it up with some good fielding. But what have we seen in this test match so far? And they've got the new ball, and they come out here fresh. It's slightly overcast, so the ball should get a bit of swing up front, first of all. We've seen Kagiso Rabada pick up a wicket to the first wicket of the test match to go down, fell to a ball that swung through the air. And then the second wicket that went down was the wicket with Dale Steyn, also got a ball to nip off the seam. So with a new ball in your hand, those are the attributes on any pitch that you play on that you can bring to the party. Balls pitching and then nipping and taking the wickets. So that's what they've got initially for the first 5 or 10 overs. Then as far as this pitch goes, we've seen it misbehave. What have we seen it do? It go up and down and sideways move. It's contributed through the divots that have been created and the cracks that have been present. Here's some examples on footage from the first 2 days. That one rolls along the ground. You, as a batsman, you're just hoping it hasn't got your number on it. There was another 2 examples. This one's a close-up, and you can see it hits that seam and moves prodigiously away from the left-hander. And this is another ball before Safraz got out, a ball that just nipped back hugely and hit him on the thigh pad. There's not much you can do, but what do you have to hope as a bowling unit? That when those balls do misbehave, that they create wickets for you. And we've seen examples of, there was 2 examples from KG and one from Dwan Olafia. This is a ball that stays down just slightly, does for the batter, goes slightly underneath his bat. There was another one from KG later on where he bowled around the wicket. But if it misbehaves as a bowling unit, you're hoping that it misbehaves nice and straight on the stumps. Another one, Amir was expecting that one to bounce higher, and then Dwan Olafia, he bangs it in, and that one absolutely takes off. So if the variable bounce is present and you end up not using the new ball to your advantage and you run in and start to bang it in on the surface, you can get wickets like that, and obviously the variable bounce will continue to play its part as this test match goes on. The other variable we don't know about, Yasir Shah. We haven't seen from him at all. We haven't seen much turn in the surface. Will he play a part? We'll have to wait and see. But I would still be banking on those 3 seamers, 2 from that end to try and get it to be nice and straight, and then a Freddie from this end to use that variable bounce going from the pavilion end.
In general, guys, that pitch looks better than I thought it might. It looks like a 3rd-day pitch, not a 5th-day pitch. You wouldn't come out as a batsman and think, whoa, I haven't got much chance here. In fact, rather the opposite. You might be thinking, you know what, there's less danger there than I might have predicted.
Yeah, I think from a betting perspective, you've got to go out there thinking that it's a true pitch. Because if you start looking after the variations and the variables and the steep bounce and the ball keeping low, then you've got no chance at all really to survive. So you've got to pick the length up, either go forward or back, and hope for the best. And look to be a little tight with your defense. I think that's the other thing that batsmen need to do here. Half shots, check shots, that drive from Azhar Ali amply demonstrates the fact that if you're looking to just be a little bit careful, you can still get value of such deliveries of the length, putting it back through mid-on. So what you've got to do is to make sure that you don't get worried by the state of the pitch. Just go out there. Half a decent partnership is what South Africa need to win this test match. So go out there, see off the first 10 overs with the new ball, and then take it from there.
Shan Masood was very quick onto the pull shot yesterday. He got into a good position. I know it got him out in the end, but he got in a good position to play it. There's no doubt that if bowlers are going to bang it into the surface to try to test the bounce, you've got to cash in on the balls that sit up to be hit.
I think it's a better option really pulling the ball, because on a variable bounce, on a variable pitch, I think leaving the ball can be just a little bit more tricky than hitting the ball, because it allows you to keep your eye on the ball for more time than actually leaving the ball, because you can actually duck into that ball, and that can be just a little bit difficult. So pulling is a good, in fact, pulling is a very good option.
Right, so the feeling is there's a good opportunity for both sides, and probably it's a slightly better opportunity for the batting side, simply because the total isn't too big. As Shan Masood said, 180-200, and South Africa would have a real problem. 149 can still be a problem, though. Let's hear from inside the South African camp, because KG Rabada is with Mike Hazeman.
In fact, actually, we're just going to have a quick look at the touch screen, because I just want to delve in there and just find out a little bit more information about what the boys were saying, Ramiz and also Sean, about the middle. And I want to have a look at the inconsistent bounce, just so we reflect on day 1 and also day 2. And I've got a different graph I want to show as well. So let's just have a look at this inconsistent bounce again, and you'll see this. This is day 1, remember. The red streams all over the place. Day 1, it's keeping low, it's bouncing a bit more. The boys were talking about that as well in the middle. But I think it's important to realise that that was quite tough on day 1. And I'm going to move on and just show a little bit through a graph that we're going to use. just to let us know exactly what happened. Now, this is something that's a little bit different, and this is what we call a spider graph. Now, a spider graph, and I'm going to use these 5 points: inconsistency, spin, seam, bounce, and also pace. And what I'm going to say here is that the spider starts right in the middle, basically, and when things get a little bit interesting, he's going to move from the middle. If it's inconsistent, he's going to go and check it out and see how inconsistent it is. If there's a bit of spin, he's going to check it out. If there's not, he's going to go back and maybe shrink back and not waste his time and see if there's a bit more bounce. If there's a bit of pace, or perhaps not a bit of pace, he's going to go there. But if there's a bit of seam, he wants to see what's going to happen. So let's just have a look and see what happened on day one with this spider graph, and this will reflect exactly what happened. So let's just look at the red on day one. I'll pause it there, and I think this is right. Before we go to day two, you can see it's just starting on day two, but you can see here that there was lots of inconsistency. That's why red goes that far. There was quite a bit of bounce. There wasn't any spin, so we're not going to worry too much about that. There was a little bit of seam, but as we've been talking about at SuperSport Park, there's very little pace. So that's the interesting parts here, have been obviously the inconsistency on day one and also the seam on day one and maybe a little bit of bounce. Let's see what happens now when it continues and goes to day two and see how it changed, okay? Now that's going to tell us that what happened is that the pace increased just a little bit. The track got a little bit drier, so then pace increased a little bit. Now the bounce at day one was there, but day two it came back a little bit and just finished there. Seam also dropped off a little bit, and the inconsistency, well, as far as the South Africans were concerned, the inconsistency was tough at times, the bowlers at the start. It shrunk right back to there, so the bounce was better for the Pakistan batsmen, of course, until the wickets started to tumble, and then it changed quite dramatically. So that's the situation about how it changed from day one and then also to day two. But let's just have a look at some evidence of that. Now, these are deliveries that are pitching exactly the same spot as we showed on day one. And have a look at this consistency. It's all pretty much the same on day two. So day one, they were all over the place. There were red streams we were showing, they were going all over the place. But day two is consistent, and it's not too challenging for the batsmen. I'm not going to hide the fact that one or two did a little bit, particularly late in the day, which will be interesting to see how it plays first up this morning. But most of the time, from that same area, compared to day one to day two, it was pretty consistent. So there's the difference between the first couple of days. Mark, back to you.
Thanks, Hazy. Sorry for the brief confusion there, and thanks for the geometry to help explain things. It's worth looking at a few run chases here that have proved to be a problem. Have a look at some of these figures here, because that 177 you can see from South Africa down at the bottom there against India early last year, that was on a bad pitch. They were chasing 240, bowled out for 177, bowled out for 174 by England in Durban. At Centurion, the Indians bowled out by the South Africans for 151, low fourth innings score. There's no recent suggestion to say that South Africa should have a specific problem in a run chase, but as I say, we want to hear from inside the South African camp. So now at last, here is KG Rabada with Mike Hazeman.
KG, thanks for your time. First of all, 52 wickets in 2018. What a performance. You've got to be really pleased with that.
Yeah, it's been a great year for us as a test side, and I was happy to contribute. 52 wickets doesn't happen all the time, so I think it's important that I cherish it.
Dead right. I mean, let's go back to this test match now. Yesterday, Pakistan was sitting good at 100 for 1 and then all out for 190. Why did that change so quickly?
I think that we bowled well. There were a lot of runs that came off the outside edge, but things didn't come off for us the way we wanted to. So all we had to do there was just stick to our guns, and we knew that if we get one or two breakthroughs and get into their middle order, we could really expose them. So that was a chat. We know we've done that before, so it was just a case of just doing what we say, what we're planning to do.
And I guess the other thing also, give the ball to the guy in form. What about Duan Olivier?
Exactly. He's been bowling with great pace. His bounces are taking off, and I think it's taken the Pakistanis by surprise. He's been taking wickets in the MSL as well. He's been bowling very well, so I hope this may long continue for him.
Back to your own performance. I mean, you picked up 3 for 8 in no time. There was a bit of a lull at that stage. Is that one a situation where you say, right, I'm the leader, I'm going to make a bit of a difference here?
I think every bowler that comes on has a responsibility to make a breakthrough. I just felt that I needed one there. So sometimes it's just trying something different, to seeing if the ball reacts a certain way or a different way. And that's all I tried to get Baba Azam out. And from there, the momentum is just with you. A guy like Safraz, who he hasn't spent much time in the middle, exposed him there as well.
So it's a chase. It's not a massive chase. It's a chase, though. What is the key to it?
I think we know it's not going to be easy. They've got a good bowling attack, and they've got good skills as well. So I think the batters have spoken, and I think it's all about realizing what it takes to win, chasing this score on this wicket. So there's a few fundamentals that we just have to be wary of, and I'm pretty sure we can execute because we've planned it.
Okay, good stuff, KG. Well done yesterday. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, he makes the good point. You know, it's not going to be easy. I think it's important to have a settled start, settle that dressing room. A long chat from Safraz to his team in a huddle here, and he would have said, keep it simple. Fewer bad balls, keep it simple. Hit the pitch hard, make life uncomfortable for the South Africans. Catch your catches, who knows, we might pull this off.